Hey guys, it's Cal. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about Guerrilla Games' newest announced project, Horizon Hunter's Gather.
We'll always hold the line.
Now, initially, the announcement of a new project from a developer known for making fantastic single-player experiences. I was pretty excited, obviously. I mean, anybody would. I was really expecting Horizon 3, a sequel to Forbidden West, the next chapter in this trilogy that we all know and love. But apparently that's not what we're getting. Instead, this is another one of Sony's pushes to get a live service project out into the market. And here's the thing. They said this game has been in development for 7 years. And think about that. 7 years ago was 2018, right when everyone was chasing the live service dream, convinced they'd find the next gold mine. That's when this project would have been greenlit. And to be honest, I don't know why Sony is still trying to push these projects out. You would think that Concord would have made them pump the brakes a little bit and really take the time to push out some quality content. And on top of that, you know, Sony for the most part is known for single player games. That's the whole point. I have a PlayStation 5 is to play their exclusives. Other than that, I'd be on my PC. Helldivers, they got incredibly lucky with them. But then again, Arrowhead has been known for making these 4-player co-op games for years. They've got Gauntlet, Magicka, and also the original Helldivers under their belt. They pretty much mastered the 4-player co-op formula and know how to make these games fun and addicting. When Helldivers 2 launched, it made sense. They had the experience and the expertise to pull it off. But Guerrilla Games, most of their legacy is built on single-player experiences. I know Killzone, had a multiplayer, but to be honest, at the time, nobody was going to really push COD off of its pedestal. I mean, basically, they were untouchable, and it was hard to try and pull that fan base off of that, and try something new, especially back in the day. But right now, I mean, Horizon, that's what they're known for now. And I just don't understand why, like I said, Sony continues to push this live service agenda when they've been massively successful with these single-player games. I feel like now, hopefully, we're probably on the back end of Sony's live service push. I don't know how many more projects they have in the pipeline or just how many more attempts that they're willing to make. I'm really glad they canceled that God of War live service game. I had a really bad feeling about that. I really don't want that series to be touched by anybody other than Santa Monica Studios. I believe they had, I might be talking out of my ass, but I believe they had a third-party developer. I think it was Blue Point or somebody who also made I'll put it up on screen. There was the same developer, I believe, that made the Dark Souls remake, and they were going to put them on making live service. But yeah, not the direction I want some of these games with. If you're going to try and make a live service game, stay off of your single player titles. Try and make something new. I mean, they did with Concord, but we all know how that ended. But the really bizarre thing is that the one game that Sony probably could have profited off the most from a live service aspect is The Last of Us multiplayer. They would have made the most money off of that franchise because the first one had a really unique multiplayer experience, and it was just different. It wasn't something that you saw in other multiplayer games at the time. They could have capitalized off of that on the second one, but I just found it funny that they chose to cancel that one out of all the other ones. It's just really weird on their part. But getting back to Guerrilla Games, this project is potentially on the chopping block. The art style was enough to give me heartburn. I'm just so sick of seeing the same, like the Fortnite-ification of all these games. And I have no idea. I don't know anything about development or what's easier for developers to make, but it just seems like this art style is becoming so prominent in most of the games that we're playing. I mean, High Guard. Also, that was that was another one that was just irritating to look at, because I'm like, really, you're going with the same generic art style that we've seen time and time again? It's not appealing to the eyes. It might be appealing to children, but not for, the young adults and, the adults playing your games. You bring something unique, something that we've never seen before, at least. But yeah, I think it's a real shame that they've abandoned, the photorealistic style, from Horizon, because I really believe Horizon's graphics are absolutely incredible. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that the Decima engine was also used for Death Stranding. I believe those two were what made Horizon look so good. Well, yeah, I don't understand this choice, because also in changing the art style, you are also diluting your project, or you're diluting the intimidation that comes with facing off against these machines. The machines don't really feel like they're a threat anymore. You don't have this sense of wonder and awe from seeing something that's bigger than you, and then trying to figure out as a team how to take it down. It just seems like we're just going to throw a bunch of colorful bombs at it and do a few combos on it. And, we just rotate that in and out, and before you know it, the whole thing just blows up, and that's the end of the mission, and then we all just go home. It's a really odd choice. I don't understand why the choice was made. Strips away everything that made Horizons special. I mean, some of these machines in Horizon are really terrifying, especially considering, depends on when you meet the machine, or getting attacked, and how ravenous they are and how brutal their attacks are. I just don't think you're going to feel it in this game whatsoever. But like I've always said, we can only judge so much by what we see. We have to get into our hands. But judging from what I see, this doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. I think this is just going to be a bland experience. I don't think it's going to be as bad as High Guard or Concord or anything that came before, but I really just I don't think people are going to really mess with this. I really wish that, as far as the characters and, how they work, I think another thing that gamers are getting tired of is the same old, class specific characters. For example, we have an archer. Obviously, your strings are going to be ranged attacks, but you're probably going to suck at melee. You're going to have your melee character that's going to suck at ranged attacks. I honestly would have preferred them to scrap all of this, give us Horizon 3, let you play through the story with two of your other friends, because you could base it off the lore. Aloy was already creating a team in the second one. It would make sense for you to allow all those other characters to be playable, and those players could have had their own abilities. And then you guys could have explored the world of Horizon together, create your meet tribes, base your craft your armor, go out and do hunts together. All of that would have been incredibly fun to do. But looking at this game and looking at this environment, even looking at the sky and like that purple, it looks like a purple storm literally from Fortnite. It's annoying. At the end of the day, it's just annoying. I feel bad for the developers who've been working on this and, for so long, because, you've been working on a project for so long, and honestly becomes a part of you. Some piece of you is within the art at that point. And it kind of sucks to be put on a project, and then you guys finally show it to the world, and then people are dogging on it. I can sympathize with that. I feel bad for the developers also, because if this does fail, the only people that are going to be held responsible, the only people who are actually going to have to suffer for this decision, is the developers. There's going to be layoffs, just like what's happening with High Guard right now. We'll talk about that later in another video, but it's always the ones who made it who have to suffer, and not the executives. They don't get no cuts in They don't get no cuts in their paycheck. They don't have to suffer for this. They get to throw ideas constantly at the wall and just hope that they stick. They get to throw money at things, and then when their ideas do not take off, then they get to just, oh, we'll just cut some people out, and just to save money, because we can't afford to keep this project going any longer, when the project shouldn't have been made in the get-go. Those developers should have been, their time and attention should have been put towards making the next Horizon, or any other project that developers are, might have been excited to be a part of. But yeah, I really think Sony needs to remember what made them successful in the first place. Not every franchise needs to be a live service game. Not every developer should be forced into that mold. It's really disappointing to see this is where we're heading, and is honestly, I want to know, are these new developers that they brought in to work on this project, or are these developers that, because they've been working on this project, has this slowed down the development for Horizon 3 in order to get this pushed out? And if that's the case, that's just going to be irritating, honestly. It's not like we don't have a lot of already great games on the horizon this year, but no pun intended, but it just would have been nice to see, something different. A co-op Horizon, that would have went off. That would have been amazing. That would have had people incredibly hyped. I would have dragged some of my friends in to play that, no problem. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of this game. What were your initial impressions? Is this something that you're excited to see? I mean, we all want to give Guerrilla Games the benefit of the doubt. It's not like they can't make a great game, but at the same time, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. And above all else, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video, and we will catch you guys next time. Goodbye.